look at me. Look at me! How dare you! Close your eyes!
How good to see you've returned from hell.
I'm sure you shall pass through it one day.
Well, The Favourite was clearly the favourite of Oscar voters. That film got a leading 10 nominations, tying with Roma. What do you think, Mark? Were there any major snubs or surprises?
Well, yeah, I mean, first of all, it's a big first for Netflix. They got a Best Picture nomination. They also got 9 other nominations in key categories. But yeah, there were a lot of surprises. There were a lot of snubs. One big surprise, Black Panther was nominated for Best Picture. That's the first superhero movie of all time to be nominated for Best
Wakanda
Picture.
forever.
Also a big snub, Bradley Cooper. A star wasn't born in the directing category. He was snubbed big time there. Another big snub for me, from my point of view, Ryan Coogler for Black Panther, also snubbed in the directing category. Really quickly, Clint Eastwood, Robert Redford, no love for the old guys. No. Both of them snubbed in the acting categories, as well as crickets for A Quiet Place. A Quiet Place was a thrilling horror. I mean, if you saw it in the theater, you know what I'm talking about. Fantastic movie, and that was completely overlooked. And then also, we need to talk about Bohemian Rhapsody.
Yes. Do we need to talk about it?
Well, we do need to. I mean, look, critics they were not kind to this movie. They shredded it, but audiences really embrace the story of Freddie Mercury. They embrace Rami Malek. Both of those have been nominated. I thought the film was fantastic. I thought it was a great ride, and I thought, audiences really agreed with that sentiment. So another thing is, a year and a half ago, you were on the red carpet for a movie called The Wife with Glenn Close.
Had a great conversation with Glenn Close. Talking to her made me want to see the film about the wife of a Nobel Prize winner, kind of a neglected woman that's in the background. The film sat on the shelf for, what, a year and a half?
Growing mold.
Mold.
Aging like a fine cheese.
So we've decided to show you a clip of The Wife. It's probably the first time you're going to see something from that film, to see Glenn Close's, she's probably the favorite to win in Best Actress category.
Tell me this isn't some great big fat joke.
It's all real, darling. Breathe. I can't do it anymore. I can't take it. I can't take the humiliation.
So there you have it. There's a little bit of Glenn Close in The Wife. I mean, hopefully people find this movie somewhere,
Good
anywhere,
luck.
under a rock, behind a tree.
Can't find it on demand.
But let me know, Jane, okay, your snubs, your surprises, what were you happiest with? Go.
Well, I was very excited that Free Solo, one of the best films I saw all year, was at TIFF, interviewed the climber. This is a guy who went up El Capitan without a rope, literally. It's one of the most kind of thrilling rides you'll ever see for a movie this year. I would recommend it to everybody. It's up for a documentary feature. I'm hoping it's a lock. I know RBG is a favorite of people's too. Some of the surprises in terms of snubs, I was really surprised that Natalie Portman, who was in Vox Lux just the second half, and might have worked against her, did not get at least a Best Supporting Actress nomination. I thought Ethan Hawke was very well deserved. Best performance of his career in First Reformed, kind of a taxi driver priest. Paul Schrader got a nomination for original screenplay. Ethan, nothing for him. Also, one thing that's a pleasant surprise, Spike Lee. If you're a longtime Spike Lee fan, he's back with BlacKkKlansman, one of the best films of the year, in my opinion. What did you think of that film, Mark?
I'm glad for Spike. I mean, it's his first nomination in many, many, many years. And I'm happy for him. The movie's fantastic. Too bad John David Washington was overlooked in Best Actor, because he too, son of Denzel, was fantastic.
He carried the film.
He did carry the film. If you haven't seen it, go check it out. Also, Free Solo, if you haven't seen that, it's playing on IMAX and at the Cinesphere if you're here in Toronto. We should also mention Green Book, controversies, lots of them. The movie still got Best Picture, got some acting nods. However, the director, Peter Farrelly, was not nominated. Recently, as you know, as maybe you know out there as well, he was, it turns out he liked to flash his, how do I say this, genitals?
Yes.
He liked to flash those
why not?
in his younger career. And by younger, we mean like 10 years ago. So that's kind of weird. The writer also was accused of sending out anti-Muslim tweets as recently as 2 or 3 years ago. So those two things didn't seem to dampen the movie's chances. Before we go, we should also mention no host?
No host.
Host or no host?
What do we think? Kevin Hart? Come back?
Kevin Hart, we'd love Kevin Hart to come back, but he's not going to come back. Looks like they're going to go without a host. It also looks like they're going to dump some of the categories, are going to have the awards presented during the commercial breaks.
Is that a first, Mark? I've never heard of that before.
I think it's a first. Don't quote me on it. Don't bet on it. But I think it's a first. So they want to keep the awards show telecast to 3 hours. So to do this, they're going to have some awards handed out during the commercial breaks. Let us know what you think down below. Let us know what you think of all the snubs, surprises, things you were happy about. And subscribe to our YouTube channel.